Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, March 11th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. All right, so it is going to rain on Saturday. It might even be a gully washer. But to the weather people predicting a cyclone bomb or bomb cyclone or whatever the hell it's called, just stop it. It is neither. And stop making up words. All right, rant over. Let's get into the news, shall we? Unfortunately, Anne Arundel County has recorded its first fatal fire of the year. Just before 11 p.m. on Wednesday, the fire department responded to what was reported as a shed fire in the 7900 block of Quarterfield Road in Severn. They arrived and found a small two-story home with fire on both floors. It took 30 firefighters about 15 minutes to control the fire, but unfortunately they found a deceased male inside. His identity is unknown, but he's believed to be in his 60s. The chief medical examiner will determine the cause of death and assist in any identification. Fire officials did say that there were no working smoke detectors in the home. So, again, here's your reminder. Check those batteries today if you haven't done it recently. Some school news. Meade High went into lockdown yesterday for about 3 hours after a video began circulating on social media showing a student with a handgun in the bathroom at the school. He was quickly found, and it was determined that it was a BB gun, still illegal. Police interviewed others on the tape and recovered a second BB gun as well. As a result, a 15-year-old from Odenton and a 16-year-old from Hanover have been charged accordingly and will also face disciplinary action from the school as well. Police did say that they never made any threats to anyone, and they do not believe there is any ongoing threat. And here's an odd one that I've asked for clarification on from the schools, but have yet to receive a response. Yesterday afternoon, parents of Bates Middle School in Annapolis received a message saying that the school went into a, quote, shelter-in-place, unquote, procedure for 5 minutes between 11:56 a.m. and 12:01 p.m. for a medical emergency. And I'm trying to find out what type of a medical emergency necessitates nearly 700 students to hunker down for 5 minutes. If I get a response, I'll be sure to let you know. There may be some good news at the pumps soon. Governor Hogan is proposing to suspend the Maryland gas tax temporarily. It seems to have bipartisan support, and the issue will be for how long? Senate President Bill Ferguson mentioned 30 days. Comptroller Francho is suggesting 3 months. Maryland gas tax amounts to about 37 cents a gallon, so it is not chump change. Francho also revised the revenue projections for the year up by another $1.6 billion, bringing the surplus to $7.5 billion. And with that surplus, he has also called for what he's calling survival checks to be sent to many Marylanders in the amount of up to $2,000. And as we begin to wrap, let's talk about a couple of happenings around town that are coming up. This weekend, the Eastport Democratic Club's green beer races are back. Yes, they are back on Sunday at the crack of noon. Well, because Eastport, everything happens at the crack of noon. Beer, Kool-Aid races, food, drink, pipers, and Dublin 5 will be playing the tunes. It's free to get in, but donations are appreciated and will benefit both the Anne Arundel County SPCA and the Eastport Volunteer Fire Company. And remember to set your alarm because daylight savings times begins this weekend, so we will lose an hour of sleep. And some more calendar items for you. March 19th to the 27th is Annapolis Restaurant Week. You should have received the info in an email if you're on our email list. If not, I'll put a sign-up link in the show notes of this episode so you can get the next update. But following that, March 31st to April 3rd is the Annapolis Film Festival. And the first festival of the year kicks off at the fairgrounds on April 2nd with the Maryland Chicken Wing Festival. Yum. Tickets are on sale now, and they are going fast. You can get them at abceventsinc.com. And on April 9th, the Annapolis Book Festival at Key School. I got to say, it does feel great to see things returning to normal. And that's it for the news, but here's some podcast news for you. Up tomorrow on the Local Business Spotlight, Fence and Deck Connection. Please keep those suggestions coming. And I'll tell you, here's today's snippet from Senator Astle's podcast.
Was there anything
in those 13 months in Vietnam that is a good memory for you?
Yeah, I met a blonde woman. She was a German, worked in a German little hospital that this organization had put up to provide medical care to the Vietnamese. And one day, some of them had come into Da Nang for a funeral. Some of their people had been killed. And so I get a call from the tower. They said, we got these round eyes out here that need a ride back to An Hoa. I said, well, really? He said, yeah, there's a couple of women. One of them's a little blonde. I said, well, tell them, and I told them, I'm going out there. It's 1 o'clock, and this is the airplane I'm flying. So that's how I met her. And then I used to drop in to say hello, and when I did, I'd tell my co-pilot, leave the aircraft running, and if something bad happens, you take off and leave me. Well, and then I went to pick her up because we had a big Christmas party at our base. I asked the colonel if I could have an airplane to go pick her up. He said, yeah, okay. Well, the day I was to go, the weather was really bad. And he tried to talk me out of it. But, Colonel, I'm committed. I got to do this. And we had a guy in the squadron who was a naturalized American. He was formerly a German and spoke, of course, the language fluent. So I said, Klaus, I need you. I need you as my co-pilot. So on the way out there, we had to get pretty low to stay under the clouds. And I took some fire, and I got 17 bullet holes in the aircraft. And so I get to the place where they were, and I called her on the phone, and she said, I can't go. You what? I can't go. I said, Klaus, come over here. Explain to her that I'm taking her back to Da Nang if I have to take her at gunpoint, but I'm not taking a broken helicopter back. And so it turned out she had a friend that wanted to go, and she, hey, that works for us. So we get back to the squadron, and first thing I did after I shut down, I took the two women to the colonel at his office, and he's, ingratiating himself. What a wonderful, warm guy he is. In the meantime, I said, I got to go sign off the airplane. I'll be back in a few minutes. So I went to maintenance, and I had to down it. Battle damage. So I get back to the colonel's office, and he'd established himself as this really wonderful, warm guy. And he looks over. How's your airplane? I said, it's down. He gave me that look. Why? I said, would you believe battle damage? And he gave me that look that said, you little shit, if I could get my hands around your throat, I'd strangle you. But anyway, and I went to Germany, spent some time afterwards, and then the following year I brought her here, but it didn't work out.
And that pod will drop next week. Definitely look for it because I will want your feedback. Done. And as always, thank you for listening. And if you are somewhere where you can leave a rating or a review, please do that. And make sure you let your friends, family, and colleagues all know to follow us. It really, really does help. A quick thank you to our sponsors for the Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, Alpha Engineering, and Rehab to Perform. It is Friday, so I'm going to take this time just to say have a great weekend, be nice to others, do something fun, and keep shopping local. Other than that, we'll see you on Monday. Now hang tight. George Young from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast weather report. All of that in just a bit.
Are you an active adult or competitive athlete dealing with an injury keeping you from being at your best? Then Rehab to Perform is here to get you back to your full potential. R2P is a unique fitness-focused physical therapy company with 4 locations in Maryland. More like a training room and a personal training studio than a medical facility. R2P offers physical therapy for lower back pain, overuse injuries, post-surgery, muscle pulls, chronic pain, and more. R2P also offers rehabilitation for concussions and mild traumatic brain injuries. To learn more, visit rehabtoperform.com.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company.
One of the most common questions we get, how do I maximize the value of my home before I sell it? It's a great question. We look at improvements like investments. What is the rate of return? For example, if we invest $5,000 in painting kitchen cabinets and installing granite, how much more will our home sell for? The answer? About $25,000 more. That's a 500% return on investment. Because of returns like this, we have started a program called Investing in You. We know cash is often tight when you're making a move, and we are here to help. We will front you up to $15,000 to invest in refreshing your home before you list it, with the agreement to be paid back once your home settles. Call us today so we can help you maximize your home's value.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-599-1370 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, March 11th. Yesterday brought a pretty nice bounce-back weather day after Wednesday's dreary rain, and today will be outright nice with sun and warmer temps. But then we have a weekend of winter-like weather to contend with ahead of what should be a very nice spring-like week starting Monday. Look for sunny highs today in the 55 to 60-degree range for most locations across all of Anne Arundel County and the Maryland Eastern Shore, ahead of a ridiculous step backward tomorrow, with early temps near 50 degrees dropping into the 30s in the PM hours as an Arctic cold front moves through from the west, changing AM rain to PM snow in spots, with some accumulations possible on the order of a coating to maybe an inch or so, which would almost definitely only be on grassy surfaces, vehicles, rooftops on homes, and maybe trees and bushes, with a given being some very gusty winds early afternoon into the overnight hours, occasionally reaching 40 to 50 miles per hour, ahead of a sunny but cold Sunday AM with lows in the teens and 20s and PM highs in the mid-40s or so before very nice weather moves back in starting Monday, with sunny highs near 60 on Monday, followed by more sunshine each day through Friday, with temps in the 60s expected each day for PM highs. And with all of that in mind, don't forget two important dates this weekend. Sunday at 2 a.m. is the official return of daylight saving time, which will be preceded by birthday number 50 for yours truly on Saturday. So be sure to find one way or another to celebrate what are arguably the two best days of the year coming our way back to back this weekend. Okay, that's it for today and this week. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day and weekend out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, as well as through our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely download our DCMDVA Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.